And welcome back to another Real Ghostbusters review. I'm going to call this Shadows of SDCC because we're still looking at things from SDCC. This was Mondo's, I want to call it SDCC exclusive, but you could only order it online and it was not available on site. We've seen this in the past. Hasbro did this following the pandemic where they give you codes to order things at conventions, but you didn't actually get any physical product at conventions. And now products are back at conventions. But this one, I don't know if it just wasn't ready in time to make it to the show, but it shipped like a week after. So it's still a week and a half after. It still made it to collectors' hands early August. So yeah, this was the 4-pack, the Citizen Ghost 4-pack, or the Spectral Ghost 4-pack of the Ghostbusters. Now, the box art is very similar to the other deluxe editions. However, the doors don't open here. Cool feature is, though, it is glow in the dark. You can see it a little here with the black light. You can definitely see how this is going to glow. And again, they're Spectral Ghostbusters. They should glow. So the figures do glow, but it's kind of cool. We didn't know the box was going to glow, or at least I didn't know. I didn't see the box glowing in any of the promos for the upcoming set. So this is pretty cool. And in the back, this door here glows as well to give it a nice little effect. This whole area, you can feel it's just a different kind of material on there, but very cool. Looking forward to this set all the way around the front here glowing and on the side. So very cool. Looking forward to this set. It's the first 4-pack. So now that they released all 4 of the characters, they have all the molds for those 4 guys, but now we're going to get a little bit different. We're going to get them in their original uniforms from the 1984 Ghostbusters and in season 1. If you recall, for Real Ghostbusters, there was an episode called Citizen Ghost, and they had to toss out the old uniforms because they had ectoplasmic residue from Stay Puft on there, and Peter forgot to get rid of them or destroy them properly, so they ended up becoming possessed in their own life forms. So pretty cool. So we're going to have an assortment of heads, so you could have the guys in their old school costumes or uniforms, as well as the ghost versions, and then we're going to have 3 ghosts to add to our set as well. So let's get into it. Okay, we have a really big pack to get through. I want to get through the accessories first, and then we'll go into the main characters here. So with the accessories, we have a variety of characters. We have a variety of items to build out your ghosts. So we're just going to pop this open. Here we go. So in here, we have a new Slimer. So we'll check this out right here. So here's our new Slimer. We have Slug from Ghosts R Us, the very first episode of the Real Ghostbusters. And we have a Bug-Eye Ghost who was in Citizen Ghost, oddly enough. He also returned in the Halloween Door, so he was in a couple episodes there. We got a whole bunch of stands if you wanted to put your Ghostbusters in stands. And then we have some food for Slimer. In dozens of episodes, he's holding food, so this shouldn't be any surprise that he's holding a bunch of food there and running around. So pretty cool. Slug is articulated here, so we can move his arms and his legs. So we need the other 2 from Ghosts R Us now. And then we have the Bug-Eye Ghost. So the toy I know is purple. There was a purple one in the Halloween Door. There were 2 Bug-Eye Ghosts in that episode, but in Citizen Ghost, which this pack is largely based on, this was the Bug-Eye Ghost. So with the guys, we're going to have a ton of assortment of accessories, including their gloves, if you wanted to put those on. We have all the traps here, so we can get all the traps for the pack set up. So we got 4 traps. They still haven't improved that metal coil that is prone to snap off. Don't like that part, but it is what it is. And then the other thing we have is the heads. So we have a different set of heads for each of the characters. So if you wanted to swap out the bodies so they could be the original Ghostbuster version, and we'll have that in just a moment, you have all 4 heads. So we have Egon, Peter, Winston, and Ray. So that gives us a complete set of heads for all the Ghostbuster characters. So that's kind of cool that they give you the option. So that from the beginning of the episode to the end of the episode, you could do everything and have them face off with their new uniform counterparts. So we have that option there. And we also have their human hands and their traps. So if you wanted to put their human hands on, different skin tones for all 4 of them, and you could do that versus the gloves. But of course, we're going to go with the ghost hands. And then we have the individual little spectral glow-in-the-dark markers here. So each one's labeled. This is Egon. We have Winston up here. We have Ray down here, and we have Peter. So each one will fit to each respective Ghostbuster. We'll check out how to do that in just a moment. And that is basically it. Everything else, like I told you, is just stands. Just these clear plastic stands. I feel like you don't really need them. Like, they stand pretty well on their own. It's not really a necessity to make it happen. But while we have these guys out, let me just grab one. I'll grab Peter here. And I know Peter had another head. He had a serious face that came with him. But this is a slightly different expression. Actually, no, this is the same exact expression. The skin tone is just slightly different. So nothing new here. They're just giving you the same face, the default face that came with the character. But instead of a head, you get a neck with it this time too. So you have the option of popping them onto there. So the next setup is going to be our Spectral Ghostbusters. So we have all 4 of those guys with their own beams and their own packs. So let me get all these guys out so you don't have to watch me take them out of plastic, and we'll start getting them set up. All right, and here we have our Spectral Ghostbusters. I gussied them all up for you so you could see it, put the little extra spectral plasm on there. Each one has a unique set for the characters in terms of how they go on. There's smaller ones for the arms, larger ones for the thighs. There's one that wraps around the head. I think it's funny, again, that Peter only has 2. Reminds me of how he was pretty much clean after the rooftop scene with Stay Puft exploding. He only has 2 of these little spectral wraps on him. But here's the characters. I'm going to show you how they glow in a moment, but I just want to get you a quick look at the figures here. And I left Ray kind of incomplete because I wanted to show you the head swap. So we have the optional head swap on there. Here is the Ray figure. I always thought he had the laziest real Ghostbusters suit because it pretty much was the khaki. Maybe he was just hooked on the original and he didn't want to leave it. So you could see it's just slightly tanner and the leg cuffs are a different color. And I think the, up here, it's cuffed. It's a different color at the top. But that was it. If you look at the cartoon and they had that episode where they switch uniforms, his wasn't much of an upgrade. It was pretty much the same khaki. Maybe, again, he's just a diehard with the original. So you could see Ray. It's the same head. And you could have him in his original outfit, which isn't too much of a change from, the base, the RGB figure anyway. Or we could pop his head off, and we could put the spectral head in there. And then we could get him going as a citizen ghost or a spectral Ghostbuster. And that is basically a little more difficult to get that in. These heads are a little tight fitting. So I'll have to work on that in a second. And then you would put the wrap around him essentially like this. And that would be the spectral ghost version of Ray. So that's really it. In terms of the figures, it's the same style figure as the other ones. They have the same articulation. They have the same uniforms. This piece, for some reason, is a little looser than the other ones. Maybe there's a way I could tighten it up a little bit, but this one keeps falling on me. All the other ones are fitting nice and snug, but this piece does not want to stay on his thigh. So I might have to scrunch around with that a little bit to get it to clip on and stay. But yeah, that's essentially the figures and their unique look, and I want to show you the glow version. Now they have the same packs as the other guys, which makes sense because in the episode somehow they magically materialized the packs too. And all the packs had traps on them if you look in some of the scenes, so I'll mount these on there too. But that's it. You could pop off the heads, you could put them in the bodies here, and you could switch them to be the standard look. Of course, the hands will come out. You have those assorted hands. And you also have the gloves if you want to move into gloves. So you're essentially getting, 2 sets of figures here. You're getting the guys in their classic costumes from the '84 film. And then you're getting the Spectral Ghost set as well. So a lot of variety there. All right, let's check them out glowing. Here we go. We have our Spectral Ghostbusters. I have them lit up with a black light so you could really see their faces glow and all that. The black light is so strong, I need to take it away so you can see the rest of the spectral goo glow. But there you go. You can see everything glow now from the characters, from that leftover Stay Puft ectoplasm residue. They look awesome. Absolutely awesome. This was an amazing set. Really glad to have grabbed this. Hopefully you did when it was up. It was up for a while for pre-order for like a week. If you didn't get one of the first 1,000 units, it'll be shipping in February of next year. But that is your Spectral Ghostbuster set from Mondo. All right, that covers this awesome pack. Altogether, it's sold out now. I think it was about $350 for the lot. Not bad considering each figure individually is $101 to come with a ghost, and we still got a ton of ghosts here. You have the figures, you have alternate heads, so it's like having 8 figures. I didn't point it out, but the beam in there comes with a different beam now. We have our Spectral Ghost beam, which is green versus the clear one, so you could have them facing off. This release of the Bug-Eyed Ghost replaces the cardboard version we got with Bankman way back in Wave 1 with the Samhain figure, so coming full circle there. What's next? The Tully should be going up for order soon. The Tully and Grundle pack that we showed you at Comic-Con with its finished production model was out there. Then we're going to have up for order the People Busters. Probably, I'm guessing later this year, might come up for order. Of course, Janine is coming out in December, so hopefully you were able to order that. And then the Ecto. The Ecto, we have no idea what that's going to cost yet. I'm guessing north of $500, considering it's the Ecto. It's going to have the Ecto 3, it's going to have a new Slimer, it's going to have an alternative front from Follow That Hearse to be the Possessed Ecto, it's going to have the Ghost to come with it too. It's going to have a lot. So it's going to be massive, and it's going to have lights on it, nothing on sound. I think they said no sound, but maybe they changed their mind. I don't know, but it's still going to be pretty awesome. So a lot to look forward to from Mondo RGB. We'll keep covering that. We'll keep covering our look back at the original Kenner line as well. So tune back for more of that this month, next month, and October, probably all the way through November. We have a lot more Kenner products to cover from that line. So that's all for this time. Like, subscribe, and follow. See you guys next time.